ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו.
More than once have I heard the question, did history make a mistake by allowing the creation of the State of Israel? There was a decision of the General Assembly of the United Nations in November of 1947 that partitioned the then Palestine territory into two, a Jewish state and an Arab state. And the following year in May, Israel declared its own independence. Was that a mistake? Well, how can we judge events? It is very difficult. At the moment, one tries to do the best one can. But I think that history itself, years ahead, tell you whether you made a mistake or you did not make a mistake. The question is, what did the Jewish people do with the land that it was given? That was really theirs because they returned to their ancestral land. What did they do with it? They found really, when they came to Palestine, a desert, unattended for centuries. What did they do? They converted a desert into a garden. They built cities, beautiful cities. But that isn't so important. What is most important is the development of the Jewish people there, advancement in science, technology, in all human endeavors, what they contributed to the world, the number of Nobel Prize winners, the democracy that you have in Israel, which is not found in any other place in the area. So if you want to judge whether history made a mistake or not, go to Israel. Go to the land, see what the people have done with it. See how Arabs and Jews in the state of Israel live really well together. How there are judges, there are all sorts of positions in hospitals. I think that almost half of the doctors in hospitals are really Arab Israelis in Israel. I also hear the question, do the Arabs have right to a state or not? What do you think? My answer is yes, of course. I think every nation has a right to a state, to somehow express its own nationality, its own identity. And you need a land to do that as well. Well, they have a right. But many of the Arabs, if not most of them, don't want a state next to the state of Israel. They want a state instead of Israel. Well, Israel isn't ready to subscribe to its own extinction. Why is that so? I am not too sure, but I think you have to start with educating the young people, not teaching them that those that put on explosive belts with explosive and go into a restaurant and kill innocent people, young men, women, older people, indiscriminately, that those are heroes. No, you can't teach that. You can't go afterwards and reward the families of these people with pensions forever, rebuild their homes. I think that is wrong. You have to teach your own children. Here is another people. We don't love them. Okay, but they're our neighbors. We have to live next to them. You have to recognize that they are there, that they're human beings as well. They're not like you. They're different. Okay, but you have to live next to them. And I think many Arab countries have come to that conclusion already with the establishment of the Abraham Accords, where you see how other Arab countries are trying to get closer to Israel, because instead of fighting Israel, you should really take advantage of the advancements of Israel. Try to incorporate yourself into this locomotive that is in technology and science and culture. You know, the best hospitals in the region are really in Israel, because there's a lot of investigation, creation, universities, and what have you in Israel. So instead of fighting it, I think the other way around. And I think we also have to come to the conclusion that nowadays territory isn't so important. What is really fundamental is the value, the added value you give to the land. your intellect, your mind is really the most important thing. I think that the biggest companies in the world today really don't have assets, real assets. It's all technology. It's all know-how, how to improve things, how to make life better. So I think humanity, both Israel and Arabs, would be much better off ceasing the conflict, and to the contrary, try to understand that you have a neighbor, you have to live next to him, and try to do the best. And I think it'll be a tremendous contribution for peace in the world.